Decimated is a third-person shooter game that I covered just over 2 years ago, and with the playtest having just been released, the game has received some rave reviews.
Oh my god, I have jets! What?
With much of the gameplay being likened to massive gaming titles such as Modern Warfare and even Battlefield. Except in this game, you get to own and sell all of your playable assets. Due to the game's release, the value of the Dio token has multiplied by 16 times, meaning that if you bought the token just a few months ago, your investment would have multiplied by 16 times. And with the full release of the Decimated game just under a year away, I thought I would bring you this comprehensive cover of the game before it goes mainstream. Decimated is a PvE and PvP third-person shooter survival game set in an online world. Your first order of the day will be to survive the wasteland that you live in. This means you will need to learn how to defend yourself using various weapons and vehicles to evade the treacherous planes and criminals around you. All players will begin as human citizens, having to work their way up into various roles within the game. These roles will be determined by your level of experience and recognizable by the clothing that you choose to wear. Your options range from resource collector to mechanic and even bounty hunter. On the other side, you have the option of being a smuggler, infiltrator, mercenary, or even a prisoner. In this game, resources are key to your survival, as you can trade them for other items and materials or simply sell them for Dio tokens, which is the in-game currency. Players must use their resources wisely to salvage technology, repair vehicles, find token deposits, world bases, and even fortify shelters all within the game. This can be done with either allies or enemies, which includes other players trying to survive, as well as NPCs in the form of malfunctioning robots, biomonsters, and mutated creatures, so you're going to want to watch out. In terms of barriers to entry, there are none, meaning you won't have to hold a specific amount of Solana or any other crypto in your wallet in order to get started. All you'd have to do is simply link your wallet to the game, so don't worry. You don't have to buy 3-man Bear Pig NFTs and a top hat or 1000 tokens in order to get started. This does however mean that the players will start with nothing, making it tougher to get by. Unless of course you could earn some Dio tokens along the way through various missions.
Spare some change?
No, sorry, I don't have any change.
Players will need Dio tokens in order to buy their first license, vehicle, or weapon, and will have to find paid work in order to progress. In this game, missions will spawn around the map at random times, attracting players from all directions, and the last man standing, or last clan standing, will get the loot. Players will also be able to offer rewards to other players for merging as a team and completing co-op missions such as breaking prisoners out of jail, collecting bounties, or attacking a rival group. Players can create groups to attempt missions. Each group member will be assigned a split of the loot, provided they make it to the end or are not betrayed by other players. So watch your back, you never know who's really on your side. All players will have to start off on foot unless they have purchased a NFT vehicle in advance. You will also be able to find and repair old vehicles or purchase them from other players and trading posts. Some of the vehicles that will be included are hoverbikes, scarab cop mechs, cargo ship transporters, hovercop cars, as well as a Skylander. Vehicle owners will also be able to charge other players to fast travel to other locations, which means you will be able to play taxi in this dangerous war zone of a wasteland. In addition to this, Decimated have just announced that they will be releasing rare cars in the near future that resembles your everyday vehicles. It will however be built for the terrain as well as being modified with armor, making them ideal for your road missions and car chases throughout the desert. The Decimated map will span a whopping 64 square kilometers that mimics a cyberpunk-influenced post-apocalyptic world. Players will be free to explore this vast area in order to exchange trade, build, or complete missions. The game will be divided into two different zones. One will be the green zone, with safe areas that are heavily controlled by cyborg cops. Here it will be illegal to injure, rob, or kill other players within this zone, so it's the perfect place for players to transfer tokens, buy licenses required for certain activities, as well as socialize with other players. This area will also contain low-risk, low-reward jobs. Red zones, on the other hand, are designated areas where anything goes, and players can rob, steal, fight, kidnap, and do just about anything they're not supposed to. These are usually in the high-risk, high-reward areas, and here you will find more experienced players that will travel through this area in order to hijack shipments, rob other players, take hostages, and do other illegal activities. So watch your back in the red zones because even the criminals aren't safe. Players that have chosen to become cops will have the ability to stop and search other players that are suspected of criminal activity, and if found guilty, you will be sent to detention centers or PvP deathmatch arenas around the map. Alternatively, you could always play the good cop and earn some cash by collecting bounties and imprisoning other players. If none of that suits your fancy, then you can choose to be a non-confrontational resident that offers a service of basic amenities such as a medic, mechanic, or a hacker. Hackers will play a pivotal role in the game as their skills and services will be needed in order to break players out of prison, as well as enter certain blockaded sections of the game. So do keep in mind that the use of any services in-game will cost you some Dio tokens, so you may just need an accountant for your decimated finances.
I declare bankruptcy!
Having won an award for the best blockchain game in 2019, and upon receiving a mega grant from Epic Games themselves, Fractured Labs has been hard at work developing Decimated for over 5 years now. With the team using Unreal Engine 5 as a base to develop the online world, Decimated offers some of the most groundbreaking visuals and in-game cinematics that you can find within the genre. Unreal Engine 5 will empower Decimated to compete with major gaming titles such as Call of Duty, Battlefield, as well as Fortnite in terms of gameplay and interface. Just one of the features to be added later onto the game is the building system that will allow players to modify and fortify existing areas of the map. You will also be able to construct entirely new buildings using modular components such as walls, windows, doors, pillars, and staircases. Components will have varying levels of damage resistance, so you would need to find the right components to protect your base. Other players will be able to attack bases, damage them, and potentially conquer them if they're not defended. Building components can be scavenged from around the map or purchased at the marketplace. This gaming feature emphasizes the importance of using one's resources wisely. If you were any good at building structures in Fortnite, then export you and your team's skills into Decimated and show everyone how it's done, as setting up a base and commanding an area can prove pivotal to your in-game success. So if you do happen to die in-game, you will respawn with limited items. Decimated has therefore created safe spaces and safe houses that you can purchase and place in specific areas of the game. This will also allow players to store items and respawn from custom locations. Keep an eye out for when city apartments do go on sale, because owning one will definitely give you an advantage over everyone else. Players will also be able to sell the apartments to other players at any time, creating a fluid economic gaming exchange that doesn't require any external marketplace. Abandoned buildings in the wastelands, however, will not be for sale, but by fortifying floors and constructing tents around them, players can limit access to authorized players only. Properties will have safes and storage boxes to store virtual items such as weapons, ammo, armor, and other things. Players and NPCs within the game will either be friendly or hostile towards you, depending on your player's social standing and reputation within the game. If you have any form of criminal record, you will not be allowed to play the game as a cop. Breaking the law as a cop or not performing one's duties will result in demotion or potentially being blacklisted, either temporarily or permanently from playing as a cop, so make sure to leave your GTA skills offline. There will be various ranks with which you will have to climb in order to fulfill your potential as a police officer, and players will have to undergo various training regimes before obtaining their badges. Both cops and citizens can purchase technological upgrades for their characters for extra strength, agility, stamina, and perceptive ability. All players will be able to level up their characters' capabilities as they gain experience points. Players can also get injured and will need to be healed with certain pharmaceuticals or by medics, which will be played by other players or NPCs. Untreated injuries will result in poorer performance and sometimes death. Damaged limbs can be healed with stem cell regeneration fluid, or players can equip their body with cyborg augmentations to enhance their performance. Players will be able to treat and help one another recover from injury, however they can become addicted to medication and their performance and judgment will be affected by their addictions. I'm pretty sure there isn't a rehab facility in the game, so make sure you know when to exercise some restraint. To make life easier for its players, Decimated will also be developing a digital wallet for smartphones, so that players can view their tokens, items, and player data at any time. Here you will be able to customize your character while away from the main game, and receive notifications of any in-game activity, such as if your base is under attack, as well as messages from other players. Your digital wallet will also include a link to your player profile with an overview of rank level, challenge statistics, and live performances. Some additional features added to the wallet are missions accomplished, Dire tokens balance, inventory, as well as crimes committed, team factions, and items earned, so you will never be too far away from the game. Having originally been built on the Ethereum blockchain, Decimated has since migrated to Solana. Moving to Solana seems like the most obvious choice to make due to its low gas fees and fast transaction fees, as it suits the in-game functionality that Fracture Labs are trying to achieve. Decimated is being built by a team of gaming veterans with over 14 years of gaming development experience in AAA gaming titles. With the experience of creating iconic games such as Borderlands 2, God of War, and Injustice, it's easy to see how Fracture Labs are not new to the industry. A quick look at the roadmap will give us a sense of what's been accomplished thus far, as well as what's to come in 2024. With the alpha release having received rave reviews from the wider gaming community, Decimated looks to have hit most of the goals even during this crypto bear market. With the game first set to be released on PC and then later Xbox and PlayStation, the sky's the limit to just how big Decimated can become. Until then, the game will be available to you on PC with the following requirements needed in order to play it. With heavyweight investors such as Spartan Group, Almeida Research, and Huawei Ventures backing them, you should know that Decimated aren't going down without a fight. At the moment, you're able to purchase the token from Huawei Global as well as Radium, with multiple other exchanges rumored to be in the pipeline. Decimated are really taking a fresh approach to blockchain gaming, with the developing team having built it as a AAA rated game right from the beginning. This makes it one of the earliest blockchain games in existence, so it's easy to see how Fracture Labs are attempting to carve out a slice of the traditional third and first person shooter market. Overall, Decimated looks like an immensely interesting game and definitely something that I would be interested in playing once it does get released. So sharpen your skill set and get ready to meet me on the battlefield.